related to all the people or organism in the family group.
No, don't touch it.
Once you're done typing, let me know in the chat when it's done. Thanks, Diana. Thanks, Michael. Once again, this is where we earn points. Saying done, here, there, got it, whichever. It's Trayvon. Give you 1 more minute to type, just in case typing's not our strong suit. No, just the one, the common ancestor. That's just as a reference for most recent common ancestor. Great question, Trayvon. Ten seconds. All right, so we're going to use what we just looked about in a family tree to show the relationship between different organisms over their characteristics, okay? So, the reason why we had organisms in that definition for common ancestor is so we can now compare the characteristics between what you have in your paper, the shark, the rabbit, the baby, the alligator, and so on. So think about that family tree. And what was the way that we knew that a certain person was related to Alan? What was the object in that family tree that showed us how Alan was related to his other family members? You can type it in the chat. What was the object that showed us that Alan was related to certain family members? Good. Thanks, Trayvon. So yes, the line showed. Oh, no, Jamel. Oh, my bad. I thought I saw Trayvon. Okay. Thank you. So right, the line showed us relationship, like, okay, this is Alan's mom, these are his brothers, and so on. Great. The line in the cladogram that you see on my end is going to also show us the relationship between different organisms based upon their characteristics. So, if you can see the picture, which you can, how many lines are going to help us out with showing the relationship between the different organisms? How many lines are there in a cladogram to help us see the relationship between different organisms? Once you get that number, type it into the chat. I guess we're still counting. Once again, how many lines do we see that help us show the relationship between the organisms? Okay, I got 5. Got 9. I should see my chat just blowing up the numbers. 2. Thank you, Lamaya and Jamel. I need a couple more responses. 2. 9. Okay. Oh, now you changed to 9. Okay. 9. All right, so hopefully this will clear up. I think I know where we're getting 9 from. So if we count, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think you all counted these bolded lines. So what do you think these bolded lines tell us? Good, the connection between them, perfect. So on your paper, you have characteristics for those organisms. Where all these hearts are, that's the connection, or that's the characteristic trait that we're going to be viewing today. So for question number 1, what is the main characteristic that all your organisms have in common? Look at the chart on your paper. What is the main characteristic that all of your organisms have in common? Look at the chart again. I'm seeing 4 of them that everyone should have this, from the shark, the tuna, the fish. Oh, someone caught on here. Someone could catch on. What do they all have in common? Good, I see 2 people. I need some more responses. What do they all have in common? Good, Cassidy, Nayana, and Lamaya. They on it. Good, Jordan. Great. A vertebrae, right? Every characteristic trait has vertebrae for those organisms. Good, Armani. So what we're going to do is you're going to help me out with making the cladogram for the organisms we have listed. Alright. Can you all see? Oh no. Nope. I'm not supposed to see that. Great. So on your paper, everyone should have written down vertebrae for question number 1. Miss Grace, what are you talking about? Let me show you. Where is your paper? Your paper is here. Oh, okay. So at the bottom of your paper in black, it lists out the characteristic traits that we're looking at. So everyone should have noticed, oh, vertebrae in the alligator. There's a vertebrae in the bird. The frog has a vertebrae. The human has a vertebrae. The rabbit has a vertebrae. Shark, only thing they got is the vertebrae. And then the tuna. We're not saying this is the only thing they have, but based upon the chart in front of you, that's what we asked for question number 1. What do they all have in common? So please make sure you wrote that down for question number 1. So let's go back to our cladogram. Knowing that all of our organisms have a vertebrae, what do you think we're going to put for that first organism to the left? This is saying is this organism has a vertebrae, but it may not have the other characteristic traits that we saw in our notes. So what can we say about the organism that goes all the way to the left? Okay. Okay. The bird. So if we place the bird here, that means we're saying the bird has a vertebrae, but it doesn't have any other characteristic traits, right? Lamaya said the shark. Why do you say the shark? Oh, so does Jordan. Okay, good. Lamaya or Jordan, can you explain why you said shark? It's the only one. It's only the vertebrae, not everything else. Good. That's okay. That's how our thinking should be for making our cladogram. This only has the characteristic trait of a vertebrae and nothing else, right? That's where it stops. What is the next organism we could put on our cladogram? They all have vertebrae, right? So let's look at our characteristics again. What is the next organism we could put in our cladogram? Good. Why did you say that organism? Good. So let's see if your other classmates, if you don't tell me anything, I'll keep quiet first. So, what is the next organism we could place? So we have the shark, it has a vertebrae, that's it. And in our other organisms on our paper, it has a vertebrae, but then it also has this trait, and that's it. What is that organism? Thanks, Jordan, for helping me out. I should see some more responses. If you have a question, let me know so I can help you. Yes, we're on number 2. The order we're putting the organisms is based on their characteristics. So we said the shark has a vertebrae, and that's it, right? So now we're looking at the character traits again for these organisms, and we're asking ourselves, what is the next organism we could place, okay, Deja, next to our shark, that it has a vertebrae, but after that, the next the next character trait that we see, it does not have anything else. It's like an umbrella. Start out with shark because of the vertebrae. Now we got underneath shark. What's the next organism that we would have? We're in that green section on your notes. Question number 2. I'm getting alligator, so let's look at our notes based upon what we have. Alligator has a vertebrae, bony skeleton, 4 limbs, an egg, a fossil, 2 openings. Let's compare. We have vertebrae, bony skeleton, 4 limbs, an egg, and a fossil. They're the same thing. Let's look at the frog. So we have vertebrae, bony skeleton, and 4 limbs. I don't know. Can't say it's the alligator because it doesn't. Well, we could say the alligator. Let's look at the human. We have everything except for we have hair. Someone said bony skeleton. Great. So which organism has a vertebrae and a bony skeleton, and that's it? Good, Shanice. Good, Jamel. Great. We're catching on. So as you get your chart, it's the tuna, guys. This is the only organism that has a vertebrae, a bony skeleton, and that's it. There's nothing else this tuna has in common with the rabbit, the human, the frog, the bird, or the alligator. What would be the next organism we place next to the tuna? You're comparing the characteristics. Great. Someone said the frog. And the last 2 are tricky. Let's look at the bird, the alligator, the rabbit, and the human. What characteristics can we put